Hello, Dr. James Bogash, Master of Health and Longevity and creator of Modern Healthness. And today I'm continuing our series on pandemic health and immunity. This is take 7. We're going to talk about sunshine and fresh air, which shouldn't come as a big surprise, but given the general recommendations of quarantining and staying and hiding in your house, it runs completely contrary to what we know in the past of what has helped with previous pandemics. So let's start by just talking about general fresh air and movement and dilution. So the more enclosed spaces play a big role in spread of any type of viral illness, but definitely with COVID-19. It's one of the reasons why Japan has been so successful is their 3 C's: close spaces, close close quarters, close encounters, the third kind, and one of the other C's. I can't remember what it is right now, but the idea of locking ourselves inside of a house and not getting any fresh air was probably one of the worst advice we could have given, because once we're out in the air, fresh air and breeze and air movement helps to dilute any virus that we may be coughing or sneezing or breathing or talking out. So it's probably one of the reasons why we see most of the transmission of COVID-19 occurs in the household. And that is because they're in an enclosed space, they're more likely to be exposed to it as opposed to being outside and outside venues. As we speak right now, certainly there was a lot of controversy associated with Sturgis, which is largely an outside event, but the current exposures from Sturgis has been dramatically undramatic. And I don't think that's going to change very much over the next month or so. Right now, it looked like a very successful event and did not turn out to be the super spreader event that everybody thought it was going to be, and that this one particular study that was off in a variety of reasons suggested that it might be. So just being outside in the fresh air is important. Sunlight, not only is sunlight a natural antiviral compound, it helps destroy the virus on surfaces and floating in air, but it also helps our body generate vitamin D, as well as a compound called nitric oxide, which helps boost immune function, helps lower blood pressure. And the idea of using fresh air and sunlight is not new. And the data on it over the years in previous pandemics has been quite dramatic and quite surprising, both from early treatment of children with tuberculosis to the 1918 pandemic. The hospital, there was one hospital in, I believe it was Boston, that ended up treating most of its people outside and keeping them in tents, and their death rate dropped dramatically compared to what everything else had been exposed in the 1918 pandemic. So getting outside, getting fresh air, getting sunlight, not only for our mental health, but also for our physical health. The CDC does mention getting out there and getting sunlight, and then they tell you to slap on SPF 900, which is pretty much you open up the can and an umbrella pops out, completely destroys your body's ability to make vitamin D or nitric oxide. So I would not suggest that. What I suggest instead is rational sun exposure. You shouldn't be out there here in Phoenix at noon in August, laying out by the pool, slathering baby oil with iodine in it. Instead, we should get 10 to 15 minutes of as much sun exposure as we can get, and that will help us produce vitamin D, nitric oxide. There are also mental health benefits from that. But the bottom line is get outside, get fresh air, stop sheltering in your home. At least get out, go for a walk in the park, experience nature. There's not going to be anything that's going to be as beneficial for your health as getting out there and getting some fresh air instead of staying locked up inside. As always, I will post, as a matter of fact, I'll post a link to the research on the 1918 pandemic in the comments section. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.